It all starts with this Roy Baumeister. He's a psychologist that studied a concept called ego depletion. It's the belief that people have willpower, but it runs out if you use it for too long. Once the gas tank is empty, it's harder to focus on tasks or stay consistent with habits or to put up with that guy Jerry and whatever his deal is. Roy says we can get mentally tired and depleted from trying. Roy here studied this effect of social human behavior using cookies and puzzles. His study showed people delectable cookies. Whoa, but don't eat them. The victims had to resist these cookies and drool over their delectability, and then they were given a puzzle. The people who had spent a long time resisting cookies couldn't focus as well on the puzzle. Supposedly their willpower was spent up with the cookie task because of this ego depletion, and then they gave up quicker on the subsequent task. The truth from this is that staying consistent is hard. Just look at these poor kids trying to delay gratification with a similar marshmallow experiment. They know it's better to wait to eat the marshmallows, but it's physically killing them to do so. And you know what? It doesn't get easier. 40% of people set New Year's resolutions. 3% of people set New Year's resolutions that they keep. 2/3 of you clowns give up by the end of January. That's why what this Roy guy is saying is so captivating. He provides an explanation for the many, including myself, who identify their own struggles to stick to the goddamn script. But the problem with Roy, the problem with ego depletion, and the problem with this identification of lacking willpower is that all the associated science is kind of weird. The idea is intuitive, but proving its truth is not. We want to avoid an explanation that makes sense, but then we just go on believing it like it's a fun fact that you just set and forget. I'm sure there's a heuristic about it. Namely, this problem is that Roy's ego depletion findings are hard to duplicate. For every study that proves the existence of ego depletion, there's like 5 others that give you opposite conclusions. To believe with 100% certainty that your willpower depletes like it's a gas tank would seem to be a mistake. So where are we going here? I'm trying to say that it's great to know a little bit about something, but there's always a healthy dose of trouble that makes it unwise to fully commit to those surface level ideas. The interesting part is willpower. But right now, the proof of truth is in a science limbo, and it's not very helpful. It's not very practical. If you don't have willpower, then knowing if it depletes, if the study is truly true, or mostly true, or not at all true, what does it matter? It's just not helpful. What would be helpful is to know how to get more willpower. You need more, right? None of these articles on ego depletion had any answer for me on what I should do in my life. Who can trust all these dissenting opinions that require research? Who gives a fuck about what I think? Your answers come from saying, ego depletion is interesting. Let me try working for, a set period of time and then forcing myself to relax. If that ends up helping, it validates that you should believe in ego depletion. It got you in a better spot. It doesn't validate if Roy is right or what's true. We already know the mess that finding truth gets us in, that exists with, all that. It just addresses how to move forward and figure out what you need to do to get more willpower. It's anecdote, but I think it's the realest belief you can get here. The funny thing about all these studies is that placebo seemed to be the only common trait between them. People who believed they had good willpower or that ego depletion wasn't real did better on the willpower tests. People who thought willpower runs out like a gas tank gave up much quicker when their tests attempted to exhaust them. For practical purposes, the belief seems more important than the truth. If ego depletion applies to you and it works for you, great. Take the breaks, reward yourself with delectable cookies. Accomplishment could be brought by giving more raw effort, or by accounting for natural limits to willpower. You could refocus on making challenging tasks more fun and interesting instead. A matter of working smarter, not harder. If you'd rather say ego depletion doesn't apply to you. If you believe you have infinite willpower and that works for you, also great. Power through those mid-afternoon slumps. Take a coffee and feel like a goddamn champion rewriting the script or whatever. A matter of working harder because you're someone who works hard. And then maybe these ideas got some salt but no pepper. Maybe a hybrid works for you, like Pomodoro technique and shit. Have you seen this dude lecture of willpower and study tips? He's like a mix of both. He draws this logarithmic decay of work ethic. He says brute forcing is dumb and doesn't work. But if you work for 25 minutes and then take a 5-minute break, you restore your willpower reserves and it kind of fixes itself. It's like a half ego depletion, half infinite willpower kind of deal. You're still working on yourself, but maybe it's more approachable this way, or any number of ways. All these mentalities are viable, but none of them are truly true solution to the problem in the way science tries to give you a definite answer. These don't ask what's true, but what works. If you use this video to think of something that might help, if you try out a weird technique to get through whatever you need willpower for, record what happens. Did it match what you predicted? Do you have an idea of what you might do differently next time? That's basically science anyway. Okay, thanks. Bye.